James Hird going into the forward line.
You're right. James!
Embley with him.
Yeah, well, we thought that, and I think Embley will run with James Hird no matter where he goes. And Matthew Lloyd at full forward, Carroll his opponent. You notice he stays right back in the square, and he's a brilliant full forward. I hope the Bombers play him there all night.
So we start this crucial game at Telstra Dome. Cox got first hand on it, but it spilt to Hill. Essendon inside 50. Lucas gets pushed aside. Lloyd attacks it. Stolen by Mercury. What a start in his 200th game. Goes out wide to Murphy. Well done, Mark Mercury. That'll give him heaps of confidence, and Murphy will line up for goal.
And good to see David Hill start in the ruck. I thought Hill was a really promising ruckman last year, and we just see the Mercury, just great vision there to see Murphy, who started in at the centre square, streaming forward. So a very positive start for the Bombers, with Hill getting a kick, Mercury getting a kick, and if Murphy can finish off with a goal, they're away.
And the Bombers are exactly that, away at Telstra Dome. Didn't take long.
Well, it was just a clean football all along. Matty Lloyd came out from full forward, able to get that quick pick-up. We'll see it here. Keeps the ball alive. Good tackle by Mercury. Actually stole that and then finished off so very well. And that is an interesting matchup, isn't it? The tall fullback on the little forward pocket goal sneak. That is very interesting.
And yet the Eagles are loaded up with Gardner at half forward and McDougall on the front line of attack. Now their midfield is a real threat to Essendon tonight, and Cousins gives them first use here. Gardner playing on half forward, Bolton his opponent. Eagles working hard, but the Bombers have it covered through Ramanauskas. And they have the numbers here, and that is a wonderful mark by Solomon. Essendon full of threat again. Just too much weight on the ball. Rapunda, Kerr, they're not out of it yet. They should be now. Cox, well wrapped up. Essendon hitting it hard early.
Interesting that Cox has started in the ruck. Gardner at centre half forward. And wonderful effort there by Solomon. And the quick play on and the kick to the middle corridor.
Hird with his head over the footy. Smashed it out. Dyson in his first game of footy. The boy from Epping just couldn't get a clear kick away and will have a bounce. About 55 out for the Bombers' goal.
I'm just amazed that Fletcher is playing on little Matera.
Second shortest man in the AFL. Matera. Cox the tap it. There's Mercury. Solomon didn't have it. Umpire let it go. Now Cox. Well, handball intercepted. Rioli looks for Lloyd. Can't trap it on the half volley. Cox is there. So is Lynch. In the end, Cousins will mop up. Taking his place despite the dodgy hamstring. It was a dodgy handball to Kerr, who did well to get rid of it in the end. Back to Cousins. Good kick. Out into space, Fletcher didn't get the kindness of bounces, but has time, slips, handballs backwards. Cox, right in the middle of Telstra Dome, short to half forward, and it's marked by Morrison.
Who's lined up in the front half.
Well, I'm sure he won't kick it long and high to Matera. Not with Fletcher, although he is. Let's see what happens here.
And he's jostling, and he's supported by Dyson, who's made a good start, getting down back. And taking a sound mark for Rioli now. That's a shocking kick. Exposing Essendon for a moment. Murphy arriving. Rioli another chance. Now Fletcher. Bombers off the hook. And Peverill is in space down the city side of the ground. Had the chance to run, but had Ramanauskas in just as much space. And the Bombers can really press. And finessed the kick beautifully onto the chest of Lloyd.
What's been impressive, Tim, when they've gone forward, they have brought the ball back into the middle corridor. And we see the Ramanauskas kick, and it is a beauty. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he tried to pull that kick at the last split second to set Lloyd up. Just the interesting one with Fletcher at full back playing on Little Matera. The advantage for the Bombers is that Fletcher has probably had a couple of days to think about this. He would have been told that by the coaching staff. Little Matera would be out there saying, what in the heck is going on here, because I've never played on a giant before.
Matthew Lloyd, he was the news early in the week. And he puts the Bombers 2 goals in front.
Just a lovely long clearing kick to Peveril out in space, and he can just take his time as he seizes the opportunity to get Ramanauskas, and Matthew Lloyd on the lead.
Perfect start for Kevin Sheedy's men. 2 goals to 0 as we start in the middle again. Cousins, advantage paid to half forward. Jones had the front posse. Now Rioli to Welsh. One of the loose Bombers is McPhee. He goes short, back to Welsh. So got Peveril on the Mendes side, and that's where he goes. So lots of loose Bombers as Peveril goes to the 50. Couldn't find Mercury. Well sport by Kerr. Murphy cleverly to Dyson. Into the pocket. Lucas up against Embley, and it'll be a stalemate there. No, holding the ball.
Just important for West Coast that they don't let Essendon get away with 3 or 4 goals early, because the crowd here will just come to light. 90% of them, if not more, are Essendon supporters.
Kerr caught in 2 minds, decides to go the long option. It was a good one too to Gardner. No mark, says the umpire. Sport by Bolton. Peveril. Ramanauskas. Well done by Fletcher to spoil. To Solomon. Tough in the clinches at the moment. Mercury finds some space. He's got Hill on. And Hill will line up for the Bombers' third. And while he does, we'll go to Christy Malthouse.
Daniel Chick seems to be struggling a little bit. He was met pretty heavily by Dean Solomon, but he got up and played on and then was hit by 2 other Essendon players, and now he seems to have a problem with his right foot, but he's staying on the ground at this stage.
One of the strengths of David Hill as a ruckman is that he will sneak forward, and we see it there. He virtually was able to take that mark unopposed. Daniel Chick, who's put on a couple of heavy tackles, puffing pretty hard.
Kicked 33 goals in his 51-game career so far. He's a pretty good kick for goal, and this is no exception. Bombers have got 3.
Well, it's the worst start possible that the Eagles could have had, because 3 early goals and the Essendon crowd coming to light, and Solomon getting rid of Daniel Chick.
Nothing wrong with that.
Starts like that are often the difference at the end of the day or night. Cox and Hill, and a clear win to Cox. Fletcher not collecting it cleanly for West Coast.
Over the shoulder, Solomon.
An Essendon free kick. The Eagles filled with uncertainty early. They were jumped here by the Bulldogs in round 1. Solomon, Hill just not able to get there. Hurd now sliding under the tackle. Brilliant kick.
It'll come back to James Hurd. Umpire Goldspink said over the shoulder.
But wasn't play continuous there?
Could well have been played advantage, couldn't it?
And it was all done under pressure. Long way out. Lloyd again, is it? Yes, it is. Oh, they're on fire. Well, same result, but even better because he's about 20 metres closer to goal.
And whilst this is all going on, half a dozen Essendon players have gone to their captain and given him an encouraging pat on the back for the free kick and the big long kick to the goal square.
Well, isn't that a good sign for Essendon? He was a fish out of water across half forward last week for much of the night. Matthew Lloyd back in his customary spot, very much at home. And the Bombers are 4 goals in front.
Well, the player who's causing real problems for West Coast is Hill, who's pushing forward. Let's see the free kick. Caught round the neck, has to be paid a free kick. And see umpire Goldspink blow the whistle.
Well, it's a dream start for the Bombers, but it's an absolute nightmare. You can look at the expression in the box there of Peter Simic. Absolute no, they don't even look like getting it inside 50 at the moment, Rob.
Well, inside 50s are 8-1.
Judd. Can he produce something? And another wonderful start to the season. Drives it long. Essendon had the numbers. The big fist came from Fletcher. Went straight to Peveril, the Welsh, and the Bombers are away again. To the wing. Good kick. Finds Richards. He wastes no time. Looks in the direction of Solomon. Good mark. Plays on. Lloyd short. Well, Matthew Lloyd a couple of days ago was pondering a long Easter weekend. Now he's lining up for goal number 3. No, he's not. He's decided to go to Dyson. He'll line up for his first goal in league football. The 18-year-old from point-blank range.
And unselfish football by Matthew Lloyd. More than entitled to go back and have a shot. Could have kicked that quite easily, but saw the youngster heading towards the goal square. And West Coast Eagles at the moment, they are a rabble. They are miles off their direct opponents.
And Dyson nails it. Big moment for him. But the Bombers, 5 straight goals in 12 minutes of play. The West Coast Eagles, as Robert Wells just said, are rabble.
And that's the 12th mark. He gets it on to Lloyd. He marks it. He in turn gets it on to Dyson. Whilst all this is going on, the West Coast Eagles in the first 12 minutes of this game have taken 1 solitary mark. And they are just playing miles off their opponents. And there's a shot of Andrew Welsh, the Bomber defender. You can see the black guard on his hand. He broke that hand in round 1, played the second half with it broken, and very highly respected and rated at Bomberland.
Hurd in the middle for Dyson, but taken from him by Fletcher. Rioli first there. And a great turn of acceleration. Lovely centering ball. The 200-gamer probably hasn't taken a mark like that for the last 50 of them.
Have a look at the uncontested possessions, 17-10. West Coast are just so loose on their direct opponents. That is a courageous mark, and he willed himself to go back, Mark Mercuri. I watched him well before he went for the marking contest. He was going to go for it regardless.
For a 6-goal lead. Oh, the Bombers are burning. And the crazy thing is that most of us probably tipped the Eagles. It was just a perfectly set up rebound, wasn't it?
Well, they just haven't been in the hunt, Tim. I can't think of one West Coast Eagle player in the first 15 minutes of this game who's had any impact on it whatsoever.
This is one of the more extraordinary starts to an AFL match. 6 straight to the Bombers in 14 minutes of play. Surely it couldn't get any worse for West Coast. Embley, little soccer off the ground. To the outer wing, he'll get there first. Gets the handball to Morrison. Shocking handball. They got away with it at the end. As inside they go. Fletcher flew. Back of the Packers, Bolton, McDougall. Again, an ineffective handball. Peveril. just blazes away into open territory. Who will get there first? It'll be Chick. Now it's off, I think it's off Hill's boot, it is. So it's a free kick to Daniel Chick at half forward. Be an understatement to say they desperately need a goal. He bombs it long, hopes for a big mark from Gardner. Judd snapping at his heels as McPhee. Now Fletcher slipped at the crucial moment. Spilt to Welsh. Got it out to Dyson, who's been very prominent in his first game. Murphy, little dinky handball was just a little bit too fancy. Now a turnover, and Kerr's got it in the midfield.
Now, can the Eagles set something up? Embley surprising everybody with the hand pass, but Cousins with time, and now McDougall couldn't hang on to it. Peveril. And the Bombers so much cleaner in their work. Welsh now.
Just interesting watching Fletcher play Matera. He's playing Matera 10-15 metres in front of him, and the little man's just lost. He doesn't know what to do.
Peveril now. Halfway through the quarter, Essendon have kicked 6 if you're tuned in late, and they lead by that margin. Solomon now as they build up again. Lloyd, one out with Carroll, and he gets a free kick. He'll be lining up for his third.
Crowd like that.
Trent Carroll given the big job, having a nightmare, but he has plenty of mates.
Well, what Lloyd does, he gets in front and then he props, pushes back on his opponent. Carroll gets the arms over his shoulder, over the head, played it really well. He played for the free kick and he got it.
Now, whether the whingers from Windy Hill have pulled their heads in, Robert Walls, they've put their hands up collectively.
Well, they needed to play Lloyd at full forward. I've seen Lloyd play quarters at centre half back. He's got no idea how to play that position. I've seen him play out at half forward. Okay, but he is the best full forward in the country. Why wouldn't you play him there?
For number 3, and Essendon lead by 42 points.
And Matthew Lloyd against West Coast on this ground has a history of success. Now McDougall just dropped what he should have taken there. Gets in front, props, allows himself to be mauled. Umpire pays the free.
Well, that is not a mistake on your television screens. Essendon 7 straight. West Coast don't even look like getting a kick, let alone a goal. Rioli at the bottom of the pack.
Ron, he didn't dive on it, it fell under him. Stand back, stand
Essendon
back,
52 disposals so far. Eagles 30. So early in the match. Rioli smashes it to the wing, out in front of his skipper. Handballs to himself. Murphy can't quite trap it. Ricochets to Kerr. Takes him on. Does it well. Needs some support though. Finds it now in Hunter. He'll squeeze a kick out wide and in front of Cousins. Bolton's just about got there. Well played, Cousins. Brilliantly done over the top to Gardner. He just pumps it long and hopes for the best, but it went straight down the throat of Ramanaskas.
53 disposals to 34. Essendon's way make it 54-34. Whatever happened to that midfield massacre that we were all imagining might happen. Ramanaskas once more. Now Lucas.
West Coast desperately need to get Gardner in the ruck. Hill's taken the honours over Cox in the first 20 minutes, and the game's just about got away from them.
Richards in the Mercury direction. Big ask for him there. Lloyd arriving. But the Eagles escape.
Oh!
Morrison kicking into the back of his teammate. Rapunda will have a go. And they'll muff it again. This is incredible. Dyson. Solomon just pushed off his kick slightly. Essendon still a chance. A very big chance. Mercury kicks in second. The Dogs by 8 goals.
I reckon we were watching the Benny Hill show then. That was embarrassing from the West Coast Eagles.
It was. Let's have a look at that. He kicks it. Morrison kicks it into the back of Adkins. Yeah, just a schmozzle.
What is going on out there with the Eagles? Come on, Robert, you coached?
Oh, well, they are just shell-shocked. Look, Essendon's come out with plenty of intent. They got off to a fly in the first 5 minutes, and they are just spectators at the moment. Gardner's off. Jakovic goes on. He's gone to the goal square. I don't know why they're not rucking Gardner. He was All-Australian ruckman last year. Is he injured? Possibly.
So down it goes the middle again, just stolen by Hill. To half forward, Solomon.
What I like about Solomon's first quarter is that every time he's got the footy, he just plays on, quickly gets the ball towards Lloyd.
Dyson got it to Hill. Solomon once again. Well, Kerr is one man that can probably hold his head high. He's been working his backside off, but hasn't had many mates. That's a free kick. Advantage paid. Judd drills it long. McDougall. Jakovic. Can he do something? Kicks it. It's a 2-on-1 contest in favour of Essendon. And Bolton is more than happy to see it just trickle over the line for a throw-in. So 21 minutes have expired in the first quarter. Essendon 8 straight. Eagles yet to score.
The veteran thrown into the fray up forward for West Coast, having started on the bench. Now McDougall in ruck. Cousins a chance here. Around the corner. Very clever goal. The Eagles on the board. And the crowd less than happy that they've had the temerity to score.
This is the marking attempt by McDougall. He lets the ball come onto his chest. That's just a sin for a key forward. He's got front position. Get the arms outstretched. Make it hard for the Essendon defender. You cannot let the ball just come onto your chest like he did there. Good goal by Cousins. Essendon 8 goals straight. Kangaroos today kicked 11 straight before they got their first behind. Sampi, one of the leading goal kickers for the Eagles this season, has not had a disposal, nor has Matera. There we see Gardner on the bench.
So Kerr gets his 6th possession. Cousins, by the way, has got a game-high 8 at the moment. But it's the Bombers once again going into attack. Hill running amok, but slipped at the crucial moment. Kerr gets another one across half-back. Puts it out in front of Jakovic. And the veteran just hangs onto the mark.
Back here. Come back 2 metres.
This is intriguing watching Matera play on Fletcher.
He's 26 centimetres shorter, Robert.
Yeah, well, Matera's running to the boundary line and he's been ignored.
To the 50. Still in play, is it? Now it's over. Exactly 50 out from the West Coast Eagles goal.
I'll tell you what I'd call it, the Clive Lloyd selection. He used to say you picked your 4 best bowlers no matter what they bowled, and Kevin Sheedy's gone for his best defender.
Every stat we see there is a domination by the Bombers. Contested marks inside 50. It just goes on and on. Clangers, West Coast lead.
Embley has his handball smothered. That allows Hurd to pounce. Gives it to Masiti. Looks for Lloyd once more, who attacked it with vigour, as did Carroll. Masiti once again squares it up, looks for Lucas. And Adkins is there for West Coast to repel. Long kick. Waiting down was Matera. He gets swamped, but he also gets his head ripped off.
McFay, watch him. Work it at him.
Matera. Long kick, Sampi's the fly! So Ashley Sampi has a chance to kick the Eagles second, and this will only put him 6 goals behind.
Well, he's had a good start to the season, Ashley Sampi. He's kicked 7 goals in the first 2 games. Little Matera's kicked 8. They're their leading goal kickers. Now just leaps that fraction early, gets the knees in the back of McPhee, gets the lift, and that is a very good mark.
Career high 5 goals last week, Rob.
Yeah, John Worsfold, he's got, I think he would get stuck into his midfield because they haven't been hard enough at the ball. Now you've got players like Chick, Kerr, Judd, all well down on their normal output.
So Sampi from 50, that's a beautiful looking kick. So they get a couple back West Coast. 8 straight plays, 2 straight.
I guess what's encouraging is that their 2 little forwards feature in that, the Matera kick and the Sampi mark. And there's Chris Judd being moved to well, virtually a centre-half forward position. You can see with McPhee alongside him, Chris Judd as a midfield player has quite a deal of height.
It's a long climb back, but the first steps have been taken, and the Eagles have another chance here. Green, time to think about this. Jakovic taken under the ball cleverly by Bolton. Completely outpointed the West Coast veteran. Now Hurd working his way into the back half for Fletcher, running off Matera now. And with McPhee loose. Now Peveril on the lead. Bombers by 36 points. He's a good left foot kick, Peveril. Mercury becoming a little ambitious after taking a big mark a few minutes ago. Tried to outmark his spearhead Lloyd. His coach won't be happy with that. Hunter clearing. Jakovic not as mobile as he once was. Bolton beats him again. And a deliberate out. That's a big call. No one on the mark. And Morrison refrains.
To the 50. McDougall so far's had a bit of a nightmare. That handball's okay. Finally ends up with Jakovic into the goal square, across the face, and out of bounds.
At least Glenn Jakovic has given them some life since he's come on into that forward line. And here we see the...
Pretty hard clash this one, wasn't it?
Gee, that's a real good go at the football, isn't it?
Wouldn't mind seeing that as a coach, Robert.
Look, he's set himself for a big one. Look, I'm sure he appreciates the fact that he's out there playing because Wednesday night he wasn't.
Mercedes, clever little chip kick over to McPhee, who's off and running. Looks for Lloyd, wrestles once again with Carroll. Peveril.
Gee, Chad Morrison just got pushed off the ball so easily in that contest situation by Peveril. And Big Lynch, he's playing at centre-half back on Lucas.
He's having started his career a couple of seasons ago playing up forward. Doing well in the back half this year. Hunter now. Good delivery to Judd. The Eagles just working their way into it. But boy, they've given Essendon a big start. Cox the target. Henneman. Dyson clearing it for Essendon. Fletcher now. Just no certainty about the Dons at all. Braun out wide. Bounce gave Hunter a chance, but the turf brought him undone. Now he's got it. A lot of them are losing their footing, as they were last week. And the Eagles build again. Jakovic outpointed once more by Bolton.
The G, I think, Robert, was for the fact that Hunter didn't attack the ball.
Oh, yeah. Hunter just waited for the ball to bounce.
Whoa, Mercedes gives a cheap shot away. And Judd will square it up and find Sampi. So all of a sudden, the West Coast Eagles might find themselves 5 goals down instead of 8 goals down.
Well, they did start pretty well. They did start pretty well last week, the Bombers, against the Saints, and then got overran as the game went on. That would be the one hope that John Worsfold has at the back of his mind, that he can give that to his players at quarter time and say, hey, it's going to be a long haul, but we can work our way back into the game. Pretty important kick this for obvious reasons. If he kicks this, well, they've got the last few goals and they are within striking range. 5 goals is not a huge margin in modern football.
As I said, Sampi a career high 5 goals last week. And he's got 2 tonight. So the Eagles claw their way back slowly. They've got a lot of clawing still to do. 8 goals, plays 3 goals as we near the end of this first term.
And the Mercedes free on Braun. And the umpire decided to play advantage once it was picked up by Judd. There's Cox at full forward. He's rucked most of this first quarter and he's blowing pretty hard. Gardner's on the bench, the All-Australian ruckman. It means that McDougall, the full forward, is doing the ruck work. Gardner has to be injured.
Bombers kicked the first 8. The Eagles have pulled 3 of them back. Scarcely time for another without a clean takeaway there. Definitely Essendon's quarter by a big space. Hill cleanly. Dyson, who has made a fine start. Ramanauskas high into the half-forward line. And a ball up, and that is it for the opening turn. And what a start by Essendon. Has the old Fox done it again? They came out and kicked the first 8, and they lead by 30 points.
Good to see Mark Mercuri amongst the goals there. They've played him on the half-forward line, his favourite position. They've played Lloyd at full forward where he dominates. They've put Hill back into the ruck where he should be. Allen sitting on the bench for relief ruck work. They are putting the players in the positions where they can play their best football. No surprise that they've got off to a good start.
Quarter time in this round 3 Easter long weekend clash. And the Bombers lead the Eagles by an even 5.
And Matthew Allen to do the ruck work for the Bombers.
Still persevering with Matera and Fletcher.
Yes, well, there's not much little Matera can do about it.
Just run around a lot.
Yeah, he can't control who plays on him.
So we start the second term. Cox got the first tap. Clean bowled was Morrison. Judd. Classily done. Put his teammate Adkins under the hammer, but he was up to it. Squeezed the kick out, and now we'll have a throw in.
This big fella Cox, and there again you see Fletcher just playing the 10-15 metres in front of little Matera, but Cox, the West Coast ruckman, he has a huge night in front of him. He'll go up against Hill and now Allen, and he really hasn't got much support at all with Gardner off the field.
Had the better of the body contact, but no result beyond that. Peveril, big possession earner in the first quarter to McPhee. Comfortable at the back, though, for Hunter.
Right there, Scott. Play on.
Now Kerr. The Eagles not right out of it, despite the fact that they've been 8 goals down. If they can peg back a couple of goals a quarter, so they could turn this around. Braun and Wirpunda. McDougall over the shoulder. He's lucky. It was just a brush.
It's the second one. Right there.
Second one, says umpire head. Doing it by numbers, perhaps. Range might be beyond him here. The man on the mark is a metre outside the 50. Stretches up for it. Looks as though he's going to have a whack. Not enough carry. Eagles dangerous. Oh, Fletcher's kick touched. First behind of the night has come a couple of minutes into the second quarter after 11 goals had been kicked.
And the McDougall free kick.
Well, there's a hold, isn't there?
Yeah, holding of the jumper for a start. I'm looking forward to the Bombers kicking it behind, Tim, because I want to see Wirpunda kick a big torpedo.
Fletcher. Well, his kick in the end goes right into the middle, but there was 3 Eagles and 1 Bomber there. And the ball ends up. Oh, as the umpire goes over in the hands of Lynch. He got it to Kerr, who finds Sampi. So Ashley Sampi, who kicked 2 goals in the first term, he's about 52 metres out. Decides to go into the corridor. Good option. Finds Hunter, who has the big wind-up, and misses.
Smart play by Sampi. Obviously realises outside 50's too hard. There's the umpire, gets accidentally tripped up. He goes to ground.
Yeah, Matthew Head might have just tripped over the feet of Lynch, perhaps.
Fletcher, oh, that's very dangerous. The Eagles had the numbers, but McPhee saw the danger and arrived, and has done beautifully for Essendon. Murphy gives it back to him, and the Bombers on a big rebound here. Carroll leads Lloyd to the ball this time. Oh, gee, a lot of them have lost their footing, and this turf might become an issue again. Now Adkins, former Magpie. That's better. Cousins now breaking away, and the Eagles with much more authority now. McDougall had 2 against him and did it beautifully. Now he's a couple of metres closer, but you'd think he might be. Well, no, he looks keen again.
I think he'd be a chance this time, Tim. Just that last kick should give him a bit of confidence to realise it's not beyond him. If he makes sweet connection, every chance to put it through.
He fell about 5 metres short, and he's 2 metres in. It's not a bad kick off the boot. Oh, it's a great kick. And the Eagles are on the way back here.
Well, it's only 4 minutes into this second quarter, but the Eagles have had all the play. They've had all the entries. And there's Ramanaskas going down, crashed into by Judd, caught him on the shoulder. And, gee, there were a dozen trainers went out to him. Let's hope he's okay.
So it's the Bombers by 22. They're led by 48. Allen, great tap to Solomon, who goes straight down the middle, looks for Lloyd. Again, let his opponent Carroll under the football. But on this occasion, he has some help. Hunter decided to keep it in. He's been pinged. It's going to be a goal anyway. Goal to Lucas. That was a costly mistake.
Well, Adam Hunter has no urgency in the way in which he plays this game. In the first quarter, we'll see he wins the ball here in a really dangerous situation. And he just casually looks upfield. And Matthew Lloyd runs him down, which is fantastic play from a forward. And it results in the Essendon goal. But Hunter has been disappointing to this stage of the game because there's just no urgency in the way in which he's playing.
Margin back to 28 points. Judd, well tackled by Peverill. Goal. Ball coming back here. Interesting one to have a look at again. It's pretty tough on the player playing the ball.
Yeah, and I reckon Goldspink was behind him here. Bit of guesswork, I think.
Now McPhee, who's been very good coming off half-back for the Dons. Bullen now to Bolton, and Essendon load up once more. McCurry having a good night. Lloyd on his right side. Great smother by Rupunda.
And Dean Solomon in picture, been really good for the Bombers. They've even used him at plenty of centre bounces where a strong and aggressive body is very, very handy.
Another scoring opportunity here for Essendon. Murphy can't control it. The winning percentage of Essendon at Telstra Dome is 82% compared to the West Coast Eagles 25. As we have another throw in here at the Dome.
Pressure by the Essendon forwards has been good tonight. We saw Lloyd run down Hunter for that goal. And we see Solomon there putting pressure on the Eagles skipper.
Allen the tap. It was a clever one, but Judd snared it. Back into the middle, underneath it. Almost a good mark to Welsh. But he got it to McPhee. To Bolton, who goes long to Lloyd. With strength again, he disposes of Carroll. And Robert Walls has got his wish. It's a behind to Essendon.
And I want to see David Wirapunda kick a big torpedo right down the middle of the ground.
The kicker was...
If he goes the big torpedo down the middle, Fletcher's a chance to mark it, because little Matera has worked outside of the forward 50 for the Eagles.
No, just a lazy drop punt, Rob.
Lazy drop punt that went 55 metres.
Christy Malthouse.
It's not just the players getting injured down here. One of the umpires is icing his quad at the moment. I'm not sure if it's the one that got pushed over, though. I can't see him properly, but he's getting his quad iced at the moment.
Something it looked like, Matthew Head. Now, this is the first game of Beau Waters for the Eagles. Fletcher with a big height advantage. And he's giving Matera a horrid time. So they've put their best defender on their opponent's best forward.
Regardless of size.
Simple as that.
As simple as that. And look, it's because Fletcher is such an athletic big man. He's very good at ground level, so it won't worry him.
McPhee again, he's been terrific. No disposal that time. Allen with good quick hands for Ramanauskas. Now Mercury. And game number 200, red letter for him so far. That was a beautiful kick under heaps of pressure. Murphy to Peverill, who's been outstanding. And the Bombers are away again. Bolton backpedaling, waiting for Fletcher to arrive. And they are loading up. Reynolds. Bolton kept coming, followed his own kick in, and could almost score from there. He won't. It's fallen short. Oh, and there's a lack of confidence for you. Lucas a chance, but a good atonement by Waters. Now Bullen. Cousins back with the flight. Good brave stuff. Lynch backing him up. Advantage called, and the Eagles are away.
Chris Judd goes to the 50, looking for McDougall. Not this time. Hurd. Good handball to McPhee. Will switch to the outer side and find Peverill. This is disposal number 14 coming up for Damien Peverill. As he goes long to Lucas, getting back as Cox. Can he keep his feet? He can. Fires it to Cousins. Got a couple of loose men out wide. And that's the direction he heads, to Morrison. In support is Waters, the first gamer, and a couple of debutants tonight. Braun, and he dragged that back outside the line. He did, but the umpire let it. Technically, though, I guess that was a free, wasn't it?
Well, it was an interesting one, wasn't it? I suppose he was pretty much over the line himself, so he's allowed to take possession, but there's no doubting his intention.
Cox the tap to Kerr. Fletcher into the pocket. Sampy was the big fly, but flying just as high as Fletcher.
He had to mark it, Fletcher. Had he dropped it while Matera was on the ground, he would have gobbled it up. But he backed himself.
Matera's had one possession. Rioli over the top for Welsh. Just getting there ahead of Waters, who decked him.
He's tough, Welsh.
Oh, now there'll be a free kick Essendon's way.
Geez, tough, Welsh.
He is tough. I love the way he plays.
Well, he actually tried to minimise the damage, I think, to be fair, young Waters. That's not a great delivery.
Well, McDougall has to come out. He's got to have a tall target to go through. The real concern for the Eagles is Cox, who's just rucking by himself against Hill and then Allen.
Oh, it was a half-distance kick from Waters and straight into the lap of Richards. Apart from the Bombers' supersonic start, it hasn't really been a night to set the world on fire. Reynolds now for Lloyd, bit of holding going on. Peverill. Bombers pressing once more, leading by 29 points, but the scoring has ground down pretty much to a halt.
Well, there's Matera outside the forward 50. The Eagles runner has just been out to him.
Lucas tries to split the pat, did it brilliantly in the end. squares it up. Richards and Bullen are both there for Essendon. Adkins, clever. Very clever tap to Fletcher, and the Eagles are away on the rebound here. Now Matera is leading into the pocket, and he's got it.
The little man with the football is closing in on a record, Tim.
He's on 298 goals. Only one Eagle has kicked 300, and that's Peter Sumich, who's sitting in their coaching box.
Three times the Eagles' leading goal kicker, Phil Matera, kicked 62 last season. The second shortest man in the AFL. Now, has it made the distance? I think it has. Not bad for a little fella.
No, that was his distance. Now, you've got to tell me, who is the smallest? You said he's the second smallest in the AFL. Who's
the guy
the
that plays for Carlton, Stephen Kenner. A centimetre shorter.
I saw him today, and he had a whirlwind third quarter for the Blues. And there we see Andrew Welsh showing plenty of courage. The doctor out there checking the face. Broke his hand in round one. Let's hope he's okay.
Bruce Reed's seen worse, I think. So the Eagles score their fifth, and they're not out of contention. The margin is 23 points. Umpire Head bouncing the footy. Less than perfectly, but not too bad. Cox trying to work it to Cousins. That's better. Embley off to Morrison. And finally they've released the running Adkins. Distance just beyond him, but they're a chance here. Kerr! Oh, that was a fine try.
Gee.
Still a hope for the Eagles. There, Fletcher. Riding that beautifully. Now if it'll sit for Kerr. It doesn't need to. It's there. And the margin is back to 17 points.
Well, they've given themselves a chance, and almost a mark to Daniel Kerr. 2 bites at the cherry. The ball is gobbled in there by Ramanauskas. He's very fortunate he doesn't get free kicked because he pulled the ball under. Finally gets the ball out. They keep it alive, and we see Fletcher, one of their star midfielders, bumped to the side and has the balance to put it on his favoured left boot and put it through. They are working their way back into the contest.
Essendon now by just 17. Bullen a little bit slow to get rid of the kick, but was caught high, fortunately for him. Love it, Murray. Gets some support from Rioli. Now he bangs it inside 50. Beautiful kick looking for Lloyd. Feigned the free kick. Umpire said play on. Hurd snapples it. He's tackled well. Threw it in the end. And that was an excellent tackle.
Did slippery out there. Players from both sides going to ground on many occasions. And he just puts the brakes on and goes to ground. Good tackle by Embley.
Cousins. Disposal number 13. Looks for Hunter. He got a shove. Advantage paid. So here we go again. Eagles on the attack.
This is Green. And that's a good delivery. Matera. Fletcher, though, with that telescopic arm.
Just for the record, Rob, Matera's 171 and Stephen Kenner for Carlton's 170.
OK, there's James Hurd in picture. He's taken a spell at centre-half forward. Embley going every step of the way with him this evening.
Just 7 disposals for Hurd, who started well but has faded.
And Hill to do the ruck work.
Cox beautifully. A la Polly Farmer with the left. Sampi. Who's there for the Eagles? Not a lot. And there's a free kick against Fletcher. Bullen to take it. But the Dons' defence now under pressure. Plenty of this second quarter left. Fletcher for Ramanauskas, who we're pleased to report seems to be okay after that knock on the shoulder a little while ago. Just beside him, Mercury having a spell on the sidelines. McDougall running under that. Bolton. Now Lucas. That damaging left boot. Lloyd from behind. Hadn't lost it. Carroll stuck over it. Needs to get it out.
No, it wasn't.
And the Eagles have to defend hard here. Probably unsighted by Carroll in front, but once it found his hands, he'd be kicking himself for not having swallowed it.
And they have gained this quarter, the West Coast Eagles. They've been able to get 3 goals on the board. Essendon just the 1. And if they can maintain that at half-time, again, John Worsfold will be pushing the fact that the Bombers have faded in their opening games this season.
Hill used the body well, but it was intercepted by Judd. Eagles away again. Morrison to Weirpunda. He can run a fair distance here. He has a couple of quick bounces. Runs himself into trouble on the right boot. Did it nicely, though, to Djakovic. Didn't panic. And Djakovic will have a shot at goal.
Judd was the one who set that up at the ruck contest. At the stoppage, it was Kerr who got the quick hands out, had the vision to set up Morrison, who in turn set up Weirpunda, who was able to run and carry. And Judd with 10 disposals, Cousins with 13, Kerr with 12. The gun midfielders have finally found their feet.
Big Glenn Djakovic, only 56 career goals in 273 games. And unfortunately for Big Jacko, won't improve with that kick, just the behind. 55 plays 39.
And there might be a touch more urgency about the phone calls from the Essendon coaching box right now. The Eagles are closing fast. Hill finding space on the wing. Steering to Solomon. Goes wide for Lucas, but he's dangerous from out there. Lynch is a big man, and
It's made him earn it.
Yep. If he lands on you, you feel it.
We've seen Scott Lucas kick goals from this position before.
There's a free kick off the ball
Against Murphy.
It'll go to West Coast.
Against Justin Murphy.
on the spot against Murphy. You heard that?
Okay.
And they're the things that coaches hate. There's the emergency umpire, McInerney, out there.
They're the sorts of things that frustrate the supporters of teams that Justin Murphy has represented, and there have been 4 of them.
Still no Michael Gardner for West Coast. Christy M, can you enlighten us?
No, there's still no word from the Eagles on what is wrong with him. He is still in the rooms getting his right knee checked, so those signs aren't very good for him.
Oh, Judd backed himself and it came off in the end. Penetrating kick to half forward. Embley against Mercedes. Embley's got the speed, but Smoke and Joe lays the tackle just at the crucial moment. Well played. Henneman tried to get it to Hurd. Picked up by Chick in the pocket. A banana kick around the corner across the face. Sampi with pace just split 3 Bombers, but ran out of territory.
Super effort by Ashley Sampi. Absolutely super effort to beat the 3. We'll see why the free kick was paid. Well, there didn't seem to be much in it, but if you make contact to an opposition player's face, you are in trouble. To the face or throat area, the umpires have been hot on that all year.
A snap from Embley. Still in play. They all miss it. And another throw in.
And finally, the West Coast, there's Peveril getting ready to come back on. 16 minutes. McDougall, their full forward, has had to do ruck work. Cox has come off for a spell. And McDougall, number 2, will do the ruck work for the remainder of this quarter.
And do it well. Fletcher to Kerr, who kicked the goal of the year last year. He centres this time, and that was a good decision. But it doesn't produce the best result. And the phone calls coming thick and fast as the margin has been cut from 48 to 15.
Well, it's 10 scoring shots each. An amazing turnaround.
And it was 8-0.
It was 8-0.
Fletcher short to Bullen. Mercedes at half back. Little chip kick over the top. to Lovett Murray. Breaks the tackle. Draws the player. Peveril got Solomon in support from 50. Has a ping at goals and puts it right through the middle. That will steady the ship somewhat.
Lovett Murray, I like the way he backed himself coming through the middle of the ground. And Solomon's a thumping long kick. He had a crack at it, and gee, they needed that one. It's been 17 minutes since they last kicked a goal, the Bombers. With McDougall doing the ruck work, it means that the West Coast Eagles have got a very, very small forward line. Djakovic, the only one of the 6 forwards with any real size about him.
Badly needed for the Dons. The margin 21. Great smother by Lovett Murray, who's injected some life since coming on. Well tackled. Hunter. Embley now, who's been pretty good. That's a lovely delivery to Djakovic.
And they opened up the forward line. The big fella has been playing from the goal square. All the other Eagles players opened it up. And a good kick by Embley, who just put it on the boot, speared it. Would have been almost impossible to stop. He really does back himself, that young fella. Good to see. And this is the spearing kick from Embley to Djakovic on the lead.
And they need a spear from the veteran. A lofted spear, a wide lofted spear.
Two behinds to Glenn Djakovic this quarter. 20 points the difference.
Just see the big huddle in the middle of the field. Players breaking from that huddle. That's the old-fashioned huddle, and they have mucked it up.
Should Fletcher be kicking in? That's his second very poor kick in.
He's looked wonky, hasn't he?
Ashley Sampi will line up for goal number 3.
And he's just well and truly alert. You can see the huddle. Essendon player breaks into the space.
Dyson was the target.
And Sampi, who was wide out near the boundary line, sharp enough to see Fletcher and able to intercept. Yeah, it's a worry, Tim, because Fletcher, you'd be thinking, why wouldn't he get his long torps going? Not all the time, but every now and again just thump one long down the middle of the ground.
They're kicking from about 45 on a 45-degree angle. He's got 2. Goal umpire does not move. 3 goals to Ashley Sampi. Margin now whittled back to 14.
It's as if Fletcher didn't even consider that there was a West Coast Eagles player out near the boundary line. And they have paid the ultimate price.
Well, they hurt you, don't they?
Well, they do, because they got let off the hook with the 2 Djakovic misses.
Fletcher had had a great night up until then. Poor kick in. Eagle goal, margin 14 points. This is an extraordinary match. Hurd back in the middle. Lucas with Lynch. Couple of big bodies. Rapunda. Silky skills. Now Green. And Cousins slicing through the middle.
Djakovic.
Relayed free.
Totally unnecessary.
He just needs to settle down. Essendon players pulling out. James Hurd speaking to him.
It was such a soft. It was definitely there, but it was just soft. We were going to give away almost a goal, Rob. Might as well make them suffer a little bit of pain.
And look, they just can't afford that. It's 4 goals this quarter to the Bombers 2. Now Djakovic hasn't had his kicking boot on, so West Coast Eagles fans will be hoping.
The target proving elusive. Another high ball. This time not quite the carry. Asiti. And that's an educated kick.
Gee, I don't know. I think the Eagles player
It's a little late.
Yeah,
it was a bit late, wasn't it?
It's a little bit late, but Cousins made the most of it.
They're going to give those all the time these days, though, aren't they? So Djakovic has got 2 behinds and one that just didn't even make it. So another let off there for the Bombers. Into the pocket. Sampi.
Gee. Now the target was Djakovic, no doubt about that, and the kick cleared Djakovic, and Ash Sampi, he's a smart player. He just trailed his teammate in, and in the end thought, gee, I'm a real chance here. And Andrew Welsh, if this becomes the 4th goal in the first half to Sampi, Kevin Sheedy has to think, well, maybe I better move young Welsh from that position.
This 20-year-old is lining up for his 11th goal for the season already. So he got a career high 5 last week, and he's on his way to beating that at the moment. He's got 3. Difficult kick, though. And he's missed everything in the end.
Well, look, it's not unreasonable to suggest that West Coast could have been in front at half-time. Djakovic has had 3 opportunities in the last 10 minutes and blown them all, and there was another one.
Great mark by Hurd. Bombers are away. Peverill. He has had plenty of it. This is number 16 for the night. Kicks loose off the side of the boot, however. Puna couldn't hang on to it. Morrison. Clever kick to the wing. Kerr's got the speed. Can he get the bounce? He can. To Jones against McPhee. Jones kept his feet, got it to Matera. Laid a good shepherd off the ball too. Matera from a standing start, no one home.
Bit ambitious.
Marked in the goal square for the Bombers by Dyson.
Poor option, wasn't it? He had Morrison in short. Masiti now for Essendon. The Eagles wasting opportunities to be right on the Bombers' heels at halfway.
And the fresh ruckman paying dividends for the Bombers.
Hill. Lloyd getting into the back of Carroll, and that's a free kick.
James Hurd's last 10 minutes has been brilliant. In close marking.
So it looks as though Essendon will go to half-time with a 14-point lead. The Eagles have closed the gap, and they're back in the hunt. That is it. Cox isn't going to kick one from out there. And after the Bombers blew West Coast off the...
And there might be at least one other Eagle that's in a touch of bother at the moment. Damien Adkins, on a couple of occasions since coming back out after the break, has been violently ill on the ground. So he's out there on the wing at the moment, up against Dyson. Let's hope he's okay. Bombers start the 3rd term by 14 points is the margin, after leading by 8 goals, and it's the Eagles away first. Here's Judd. Backs back into the traffic. Doubles back again. Finally got the clear handball away to Braun, who bangs it long. Matera, one out with Fletcher. That's a mismatch. Fletcher, beautifully done. Just was at the wrong end.
He's got those long arms and legs.
Yeah, the praying mantis legs, isn't it?
Little Matera just propped in front, and he just threw the boot out. Smart play.
Rush behind.
West Coast supporters might have been asking, no chance that he was over his shoulder. McPhee to Dyson. First game has started well. Quieter in the 2nd quarter. Now Bolton. Hurd starting at half forward, receiving from Mercury. Oh, can he do it from there? No.
You very rarely see James Hurd kick on his left foot. He tried to banana that one on the right to get it back to the front of the goal face. Wasn't quite successful with the connection. But after that 2nd quarter comeback by the West Coast Eagles, I'd be thinking that Essendon would need to be 4 goals up at 3/4 time to have some confidence to win this game, because I just feel that the Eagles will be fitter and will run the game out better than Essendon.
Embley has been Hurd's opponent, delivers to Green. The Bombers had kicked 16 goals in their first 8 quarters of the season and came out with 8 in 19 minutes tonight. Perhaps they've reverted to type since. They build again. McPhee to Lucas, and then receives off the spoil. Murphy, sloppy. Bolton. The Eagles just try to bulldoze it forward. Peveril getting the kick out, but straight to Cox. Game of mistakes. Jones. Now Kerr could be dangerous from there. Can cut the distance and the angle and kick a brilliant goal.
Timmy did that beautifully. He had the ball on the boundary line. He looked up. He saw his two smaller teammates covered by Essendon opponents. He then decided to check side it through, and he did it to perfection. And this fella in picture number 4, his mate there, number 3, Chris Judd, and Cousins number 9, they are starting to get plenty of ball. And you see Daniel Kerr looks up, sees his teammates are covered, and that is confidence in your skills. And that's modern football for you.
And, well, the three amigos are at it again in the middle as Cousins handball at Judd. On this occasion, he was wrapped up. But the Essendon midfielder got a lift.
Let him go.
It's always going to be a big ask with so many big-name players for West Coast in the middle.
Yeah, just look at the size of Chris Judd. He could play, at a pinch, he could play centre-half forward.
Here they go again. Adkins pumps it long. Matera's there, so's McDougall, but that's a terrific mark taken by McPhee. Boy, did that save the day for the Bombers. Kicks on to Peveril, who doesn't let him down. Number 19, as far as disposals are concerned for Peveril, is Fletcher. Goes long. Rioli. Solomon. Just can't quite break the tackle. A clever handball. Mercuri's handball was ordinary. Bullen on the left. Good pass. Hurd. Goal. Well, they got there in the end, Essendon.
And this is the McPhee mark on the last line of defence. An absolute beauty. And on the rebound, we'll see Bullen ends up with the footy. Doesn't connect as sweet as he would like. Doesn't matter. Goes straight to James Hurd. And we see Hurd angled that on the boot.
A seriously badly needed goal by Essendon. Gives them a cushion again, but the Eagles keep whittling away. Hill weighted down and roved Cox. Beautifully done. Peveril and Murphy. Now Lucas with the favoured left. Oh, and Mercuri's done it again. He's become an aerial specialist. He'll line up for goal number 3.
Like to see that again. David Wirapunda doesn't get off the ground, and that is not a strong enough effort.
Hardly the man you'd expect to be cutting you up in the aerial contests. Bit of a shiner by the look of it, perhaps sustained earlier in the night. The distance just 25 metres, and he does it comfortably. The margin back to 19 points, and the fans breathe easier.
And a lot of credit. You can see Wirapunda, well, it's just a poor effort to spoil from behind. No aggression in the spoil whatsoever. But David Hill, the ruckman, is really helping Essendon clear that ball. He is good at ground level.
Well, they'd be happy with their accuracy. They've kicked 12 from 13. And the Bombers have steadied. Murphy, who played a part in the build-up to that last goal.
And again, Tim, David Hill featuring in the centre clearance for the Bombers.
So no sign of Gardner there.
It'll be Cox and Hill. Cox got a double hand onto it. Adkins, who we saw quite ill just after the half-time break. There's Matthew Allen sitting down, rather leisurely fashion, just enjoying the evening under the roof. It's raining outside in Melbourne now. The Bombers have responded in the last 5 minutes. Hurd. Stolen by Rioli. Had the handball smothered. Cousins. Can he break the tackle from Lucas? He can't, but he soccers off the ground only as far as Welsh, who handballs it back in the middle to Hill. It's a wobbly pass to Peveril, but he's got support in Bullen. Back to Peveril. Quick hands. Here's a chance now for Lovett Murray for his first goal in league football. Offline, 1 point. There was a golden opportunity missed from the youngster.
He looks a likely type.
Embley to bring it in for the Eagles. He doesn't really see anything that appeals to him. He'll get the hurry up from the umpire here.
Play on.
He gives it to himself. And it was a good move. Carroll had a horrendous start against Lloyd, but he's fought back well. Lucas in the way, though. There's a West Coast free kick for a hold. Lynch's ball. Well, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. That was stiff.
Very fortunate.
Quinton Lynch, long ball. Here's Sampi again. Just couldn't quite get to the fall of it. Chick seemed to throw it back into play. Fletcher now. Comfortably under it, Murphy. And the Bombers will repel here. And he has a range of options, and it just has the carry to reach Hill.
Just to Solomon, to the wing. And the kick finds Bullen. Pops one over the top to Peveril. He's got to beat 2 Eagles here. He handballs into the pocket to Lloyd.
Ooh.
Thought about the don't argue, but decided against it this week.
Just like last week, wasn't it?
McCure at the bottom of the pack, playing well at his 200th. Now Judd on defensive 50. Not a lot of space to work with, but fired out the handball to Kerr. Pops one over the top. Here come the Eagles. Driving kick inside 50. That's got to be a free kick to McPhee. No, it's gone the other way. It's gone to Chick.
And Daniel Chick has been as cold as ice all night. Just the 3 disposals.
Your left arm was all over his shoulder. I've got to play it.
You heard the umpire.
Well, my first thought was that it was again a 50-50, wasn't it?
Yeah, you cannot, Chick's entitled to a free kick, so too McPhee. Therefore, call play on, umpire.
So Daniel Chick 40 metres out. Listen to the Bombers fans. Chick's goal. And the fans go berserk at Telstra Dome.
Imagine if it was umpire S. McLaren.
Oh, gee. Well, that's the sort of pressure that he's under now. Let's have a look at Matthew Lloyd with the don't argue, and he puts the hand out.
That's much better.
Last week, he put the forearm up, and that's what got him cited and suspended and eventually cleared. And here's the grab on between 2 players, and why Chick ended up with the free kick, I do not know. Both players wrestling. Call play on.
14 points the difference. Cousins been inspiring. Embley working it out of the middle. First man there, Murphy. Doing pretty well in the early part of this quarter. Fletcher, lovely kick to Hurd, who has Hill calling for it. That's where he's gone. Now Hill has excellent kicking technique, can kick it a long way, but his accuracy is not always great.
And there's Daniel Chick. He's copped one just under the eye, and you can see a shiner coming up. Get a bit of ice on that. And David Hill, again, is a smart, cunning, crafty ruckman who pushes into that forward 50 repeatedly. And Daniel Chick, well, throws that one over the top. Important kick, this one. He's more than capable of kicking it.
The Bombers haven't missed from a set shot tonight. Now they have. Fans were on their way up. Now they don't like the goal umpires.
What did you think, Tim? You were right in line with it.
Touch and go. Tough call when it sails over the goalpost.
Gee, there's goal umpire up in Brisbane Thursday night, had a rough night.
Well, I reckon it was a great call from the goal up. I reckon it was a point.
And there's the torpedo from Wirrapunda.
Happy now?
I'm very happy.
Adkins marks at half-back. Waiting behind here is Welsh. Good kick. Dyson. To Hurd. To Murphy. Looking to get it moving quickly. Finds Solomon. Swings onto the right. Lloyd's one out here. Pushing the back.
Hands right in the middle of the back, Manny. No, don't put your hand. I know, but you can't put your hands down. I won't have to worry about him.
So free kick going the Eagles' way, and Kerr takes the mark at half-back. Good kick to half-forward. McDougall's found some space, couldn't take the mark, but running onto his Cousins, he can go from here. Cousins goes bang and slots it through. Brilliant. Just swooped on that, Robert Walls.
It was a very good kick by Daniel Kerr to McDougall. Let's have a look at this shot of Hill. Probably over the goalpost. But the Kerr kick, there's the free kick in the back given away by Matthew Lloyd. Hard to argue with that. McDougall marks what he should have taken, and the skipper cleans up and finishes off, able to put through his second goal for the game.
And it's back to a 9-point game. Fletcher for West Coast. This is Lynch.
Big fella's done all right this quarter, Tim.
Good
Long
turn
kick.
of pace for a big bloke. Chick pushing and shoving. Jakovic with the fist. Dustin Fletcher roving it, reading it beautifully. Now Rioli has trotted off the mark. Welsh. And that's a good delivery for Hurd. Solomon reading the hand pass back over the head. Beautiful blind turn. Clever little kick. Can McCurry finish it? This is Dyson. McDougall. Nice work by a big man. Rapunda. Oh, that's a good kick. Finding Judd.
Embley. Advantage paid as Hurd plays on. Back inside the centre square. We're put to the fist. Solomon just couldn't quite run onto it. Bottom of the pack is green. Umpire says I'll bounce.
Got to be a tackle, Mark.
And there's Ben Cousins in picture. The skipper just continually plays in the midfield. Hasn't had a spell all game. One of the fittest players in the competition.
It's the Bombers by 9. Judd tackled, but he didn't have it.
And again, McDougall doing some ruck work for the West Coast Eagles. Cox standing in the goal square, having a much-needed spell.
Kick look for Cox, and that is beautifully rowed by Kerr, who should run on and kick another one for West Coast. Classic piece of roving.
And you were spot on there, Steve. It was just perfect timing. He got front and square. He took the ball off the hands. And we'll see, that's the free kick. Welsh holding on too long to Judd. Just propped in front of the pack. Backed himself when he took it. He is a brilliant player, is young Daniel Kerr.
And the calm that we saw at quarter time amidst the storm. is still apparent from the West Coast box. And a growing sense of anticipation now. The margin just 3 points. This is Bullen for Essendon. Now Hurd. Cool heads needed. Lloyd on a long lead and gets a free kick. Freeze 4-2, West Coast's way in this quarter. Too far out to kick a goal, although it's unguarded. That's 50.
Gee, that's tough. Lloyd ran off his line, didn't he?
It's an interesting call.
You've got 5 metres each side. It's in the channel.
Carroll pushed forward. Did Lloyd go to the side? I guess unless you hear the call of play on, you have to hold your spot.
So he hadn't shaped to kick anywhere but over the mark yet.
He's run well and truly off his line.
5 metres?
No doubt.
He's got 5 each side.
Rob?
I think the umpire was right. I don't think he broke 5 metres to the side. Outvoted 2-1.
Yeah, I can't argue. We're a democracy.
Have to ask Christie. What does Christie think?
Tell you what, it was on the edge of 5 metres. I'll grant you that.
Gee.
Lloyd for his 4th, and he gives the Bombers a cushion.
Well, after his 3 goals, let's have a look.
1, 2, 3, 4
and a half.
Yeah, 4.5, Steve. Bad luck.
To me, that's play on.
And you can just have a look at Carroll there. He's just so upset because I don't think Matthew Lloyd would have kicked the goal from where he was. Just beyond his distance.
Lloyd's got 4. Bombers get a little bit of breathing space as they force it forward once again. Only as far as Hunter. Popped it over the top to Green. McDougall makes the lead. Awkward looking kick, but it's effective. It's inside 50. No, it's not. In fact, it's out on the full. And McPhee will take it inside his own defensive 50.
Don't think McDougall will top the score with kicking like that, Rob.
No, he won't, Tim. You're a student of Australian poetry. That's good to hear.
I learned it from you last year.
Peveril, this is disposal number 24. And Mercury has had a good game in his 200. 3 goals. And 10 possessions. Back to Peveril again. Looks for Lloyd. Carroll nudges him under the ball. Umpire calls play on. And Green will clear. Kerr's been outstanding. This is number 20 for him. Oh, and it's a beautiful spot up. McDougall should mark and go back. And that's what he decides to do. That's a wonderful kick. And Andrew McDougall has a chance once again to make it a 3-point ball game.
Well, this West Coast Eagles team was 48 points behind at about the 21-minute mark of the first quarter. They have come from 48 points behind in their past history. You have to go back to 1998, round 10 against the Bulldogs, when they trailed by 48 points at quarter time. They got up to win by 13.
And McDougall makes no mistake. It's 3 points the difference.
He is a beautiful finisher, isn't he? He's a lovely kick.
Well, remember, he got goal of the year last season with that run from half-back flank at Subiaco and took the ball through the centre square to the forward 50 arc and then finished off with a brilliant goal.
Couldn't forget that.
Playing a really important role for the Eagles is Andrew McDougall, kicking goals and taking his share in the ruck.
Just 3 points down. Can they put their noses in front? Now, was that touched? No, it wasn't. I thought off the boot of Murphy it might have been, but Mercury's on the end of it.
And this will...
Nowhere near it.
I thought that would stretch him with the distance, so Mercurie's gone for the short pass. And distance no problem for Matthew Lloyd.
So Lloyd looking for his second of the quarter. Good thinking by Mercurie.
He just waited, and eventually the lead came, and he only had to kick it 20 metres, but it just puts Lloyd well within the 50-metre arc.
Not a breath of air in here, nor any rain, despite what's happening on the other side of the roof. Big kick this for his fifth. I reckon he squeezed that home. He has. And the Dons continue to cling to the lead. It's back to 9 points.
And that's about his average against the West Coast Eagles, 5 goals a game.
Does that help?
David Wirapunda has been moved to the half-forward flank. Spent most of the game in that back pocket, his favourite position. Cox back into the ruck for West Coast, and McDougall deep into the forward line.
Embley has the kick smothered. Massini runs onto it. Here's another chance for the Bombers. Beautiful pass by Smoke and Joe. Matthew Lloyd will line up for number 6.
Well, if ever you needed convincing that Matthew Lloyd is a full forward only, surely tonight does it for the Bombers' brains trust. He just times his leads to perfection. He's been leading and marking and kicking goals since he was 15 years of age. It's what he does better than anybody else in this land of ours. Leave him in that position. And he's the sort of player, even on his down days, he will kick 3 goals for you.
He's got 5 straight tonight. From 48 metres, he makes no mistake. Lloyd's got 6. And the Bombers have a handy little buffer as we near 3/4 time.
He's kicked all 6 at the one end. 3 in the first, 3 more in the third.
Well, just shows how important centre clearances are. James Hird put the smother on the Embley kick. That set Joe Massini up, and then Joe just kicked the ball out into space, knowing that Lloyd would be able to make it. And we said at the start of this quarter that the Bombers needed to be around the 4 goals up. Gee, they've kicked accurately. 15 goals, 3 behinds.
And those big leads are hard to peg back. You can get close, but it's often hard to go all the way. Again, it's out to 15. Nasiti doing some good work in there. Waters to Judd. To Cousins. Couldn't find a target he liked. Embley does. It's Matera. With Fletcher at about 45. Matera has 1 for the night, which has him on 299.
What we've had, Tim, at the centre bounces, each team's playing 6 forwards, and the 6 forwards are really deep, so whoever wins the clearance can run and carry the ball and then kick to a leading forward. They haven't got players coming at them off the square.
It'll just carry home, and Phil Matera becomes the second West Coast Eagle to reach 300 goals. Peter Sumich way out in front on 514.
And again, he leads out into space. That's the only way he can beat Fletcher. Certainly won't beat him in a one-on-one marking contest. So he's got to use his speed and his brain to get out into some space. And his players downfield have to honour that sort of a lead, which they did. But we haven't got players charging in off the square. So if a clean take can be gathered by a player in here, they've generally got time to sum up someone to pass it to.
And there's the clean takers. Judd puts it inside 50. That's a push out going Essendon's way to Fletcher.
Okay, Phil, right there. Right out. Adam. Right out. Still not there.
Fletcher goes up the middle. Solomon runs onto it. Oh, here's another chance for Lloyd. He puts it out in front of Lloyd. Just couldn't get them up, and he kept his feet. Just can't quite control it. Mercury fed it out towards Bullen. Fletcher's there for West Coast, and very happy to see it over the line. It's the Bombers by 9 points.
Matthew Allen doing the ruck work against Cox. Should be much, much fresher.
Adkins. High ball, courage needed here, and Braun provided it. Great stuff from Michael Braun. And 50 against Lucas. Not quite sure about that one.
No, that looked tough.
I mean, Lucas, in fact, probably ended up doing Braun a favour by...
And slow motion tends to distort these a bit because it increases the delay.
Well, he really could have ironed him out there, Scott Lucas. To his credit, he didn't, but he still got pinged, Robert.
He did, and we're seeing more and more of that, aren't we? Just if a player takes the mark and there's half a second, umpires are tending to expect players to pull up in that situation. It's a big ask.
So Michael Braun will be kicking from pretty much 50 metres out. Make it 51. It's going to be close. It's a goal. Braun has kicked it. This is an extraordinary match. Just when you think the Bombers might get away again, the Eagles have gone bang, bang, and it's back to 3 points of difference.
It looks late on there, doesn't it?
It does. It looks there in the slow motion that he could have pulled up and just wrapped him up. He chose not to, chose to hip and shoulder Braun, make him earn it. And it's cost the Bombers a goal. It's a 7-goal 1 quarter to the West Coast Eagles.
To 5 goals too. The brakes are off. Cousins again. The Eagles getting on top in the centre. And Mercury up in the midst of it now. Brought to ground. 3 times the Eagles have closed to within a kick. Each time Essendon have steadied with a couple of goals. Embley gives the Eagles some running. Adkins running onto it. The former Magpie might run in and put them in front. Not quite.
Just been impressed with Damien Adkins. Started the game on the interchange bench, as Tim said, former Magpie, and I know a lot of people at Collingwood. He's been cruelled with injuries over the last 4 years, but a lot of people at Collingwood thought that he was going to be a very, very good player.
Fletcher to Peveril. His tally is up to 26 disposals, Damien Peveril. If you've just happened to come home, Essendon led by 8 goals.
Player rankings important there. Kerr, Cousins and Judd in the top 5. Peveril running with Judd. Solomon running with Cousins. Masiti running with Adkins.
Back of the pack is Sampi. Got Cousins in support. Number 21 for Cousins as he puts them inside 50. Matera got a cruel bounce. Fletcher's there to mop up to McPhee to Mercury. Well done by Mark Mercury. To Hanneman, now to half forward for Essendon. Wirpunda almost threw that out. Lynch. Mercury couldn't control it. Cousins can. Sweeping handballs of beauty to Adkins. Sidesteps. He might put West Coast in front now. He bangs it long. Eagles hit the front. Unbelievable.
8-goal quarter to the West Coast Eagles. It is unbelievable because who would have thought this when the Bombers had 8 goals to nothing at the 21-minute mark of the first quarter. And this is the young fella who I was talking about before, former Collingwood player. I know Tony Shaw is a huge rat for him. Tony coached him at Collingwood before the injury struck. Gone over to West Coast, didn't do a lot last year, but it looks like he's got himself fit and strong, and he is a new dimension to the midfield of the West Coast Eagles.
He has new dimensions too, doesn't he? He's put on some muscle. He was a will-o'-the-wisp in the Collingwood days. Now
No dive for that, Atkins.
From behind, Solomon, scrambled kick, going nowhere. Hunter, Peveril comes at him, did well, keeps it alive for the Dons. The ball up.
Adam Hunter would be one of the most laconic players I've ever seen. And there's Bullen, who's doing a run with job on Fletcher. So Kevin Sheedy trying to close down the run and the quality of the West Coast Eagles midfielders.
Rioli, third man in there. Cousins has been magnificent. He has led from the front all night. He started it with the first goal, and he might finish it. Welsh now for Essendon. Into the corridor for Ramanauskas. And that's a probing kick. Lloyd at the end of it. Green cutting him off. Receives now from Rapunda, who delayed. But the Eagles are out of trouble. Jakovic, long and high. Sampi, oh, that was a wonderful mark. Kept his cool under the Ramanauskas charge and sets up Adkins here in space. And the Eagles are building dangerously again. Not quite an option he likes. Goes the long one to McDougall. Matera's dangerous. Well done, Henneman.
He did do very well there, Henneman, because had he missed that swipe at the footy, it was a certain Eagle goal. The Eagles are starting to win the clearances. Had the last 7. Whew.
Adkins is off too after that.
Oh, he just about
injury.
Twisted in half.
He's had a stunning quarter. Into the middle, go Essendon. Bolton, won the football well. Kicks it out into space. Lloyd will get there first. Another classic Matthew Lloyd mark.
And that's what he does. He leads, he times, he hangs on. Got super strong hands to take a ball at full pace. And the laconic Adam Hunter went to ground in the middle, and it cost the Bombers, cost the West Coast Eagles.
So Lloyd's got 6 straight. You'll be kicking from 50, slight angle.
I spoke to a former AFL coach at half-time. I said, what do you think? He said, I think it's the West Coast Eagles versus Matthew Lloyd. And I tell you what, I think he's right from what we've seen in the last half hour.
So 6 straight to the star bomber. That's number 7. All at that end, by the way, as Tim Lane pointed out earlier. 3 in the first quarter, 4 in the third quarter. Kevin Sheedy makes his way down from the coach's box. And it is Essendon back in front by 1 point.
Tim, I don't know if you're a betting man, but what were the odds for Essendon after Lloyd was suspended, and did they change after he was reinstated?
They did. There was a massive plunge on Essendon after Lloyd was reinstated. They really firmed into favouritism after Lloyd had his 2-week suspension quashed. So spot on there, Rob.
Oh, and it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Adkins just testing that knee out.
The lead changes for the second time in the night. Hurd gives Essendon a last gasp chance. Embley in the way, oh, he trotted off. He was a step over the mark. Lucky to get out of that.
Both teams playing with an extra man in defence. Ramanauskas for the Bombers is just sitting back there trying to fill the holes.
Waters, too much weight on the kick, and that mark's not paid. It looked dead set to Welsh. Bomber fans breathe easier now as they escape. It's 3-quarter time as the boos ring around Telstra Dome, and we have a thriller. Essendon, after leading by 48 points in the first quarter, cling to a 1-point advantage.
Well, it is an absolute Saturday night special. 8 goals, the Bombers. First 8 of the match. And now at the last change, it's...
Essendon need to control Judd, Cousins, Kerr in at the centre bounces. If they can do that, they're a real chance. West Coast Eagles need to be able to control Matthew Lloyd.
You consider the Eagles have gone through most of this game without arguably their second best player in Michael Gardner. So the Bombers start the last term in front by 1 point. Kerr gets first clean possession. Beautiful hand pass to Cousins. 55 out. He goes for home. Eagles back in front. Cousins has got 3 and has been a superstar tonight.
Well, he has. This would be one of the best games I've ever seen Ben Cousins play. He's led from the front. He was the one who got the first goal on the board for the Eagles when they were desperate for one. But you see Kerr get the wild handball forward. Cousins runs onto it, pushes to his left side, because had he gone to the right, he would have been tackled. Smart player and wonderfully gifted either side. And you can see Daniel Chick, he's excited.
He's a player. He might become the Eagles' greatest player. He's won best and fairest in the last 3 years. Second longest serving captain already. The Eagles in front for the second time.
Just interesting, Tim, you can see little Matera. He's just pulling Fletcher out of the danger zone, and it just means that Essendon's best defender's not there to defend.
Good hands from Hill to Peveril. Biggest possession earner on the ground. Lucas pushing and shoving. Lynch just got a boot in there. Lovett Murray mown down by Warapunda. And that's a good tackle by Jakovic. So a throw in. There's the Eagles calling for a deliberate out, but quite rightly the umpire pointing out it was a hand pass under fierce pressure.
They need Scotty Lucas to give them something in this final quarter. You know, Matthew Lloyd has carried the forward line. Lucas, the centre half forward, needs to give something.
Hill nicely to Solomon, but had the kick smothered by Judd.
Ball's out. No quiet mind.
And another stalemate.
Thanks, Mark. Go straight to the line, guys. Straight to the line.
Cousins once again meets head-on with Hurd.
And again, you see little Matera just dragging Fletcher away from where the ball will go. It'll go in a direct line to goal. Fletcher's trying to move back into that line. Matera trying to drag him out. Game of cat and mouse.
Kerr. Peveril lays the tackle.
Good tackle, no fire again. Thanks, Daniel.
No Michael Gardner on the West Coast bench. Went off very early in the match. Atkins has got a sore ankle. Lucas. To Hurd.
That's his 20th disposal.
Looking for Lloyd. Mercury front and centre. He's kicked 3. Plays the percentages. And it's come off too. Welsh into the pocket. And finds Nathan Lovett-Murray, who hasn't had much of the football, but what he's done has been impressive. Looks a likely type. Just the 3 touches, but looks exciting, Rod.
Yes, he does. And I just like this mark of Andrew Welsh. Chipped pass to him, kept his eyes on the ball, realised he was too far out to kick a goal himself, so he put off the short pass to the young fellow with the footy, Nathan Lovett-Murray.
Kicked it behind in the 3rd quarter, playing just his 2nd match. Yet to kick a goal in the big time. Tough angle. Chips it. It's across the face. Almost a mark to Richards. Throw in.
Disappointed. Plenty of time left to atone for it.
Good contest, this one. James Hurd, 20 disposals. Embley, 16. They've gone together from start to finish.
Kerr getting a hand in there to take it away from Solomon. Richards to Mercury, gang tackle. And a ball up.
Good to see Warapunda showing real desperation there.
Thanks, Mark.
The Eagles by 5 points. Hill working hard, but spraying it into the band of... No, touched off the boot, so a throw-in. Not a bad outcome for Essendon. Extraordinary that the Eagles, from 8 goals down, could be in front before three-quarter time. They've lost and had to recapture the lead, but they have it now. Essendon looking to grab it back. Cox takes front position. Here's Richards again. And there'll be another throw-in.
Well, we've had half a dozen ruck contests in a row. There's Damien Adkins, who had a very good third quarter. And you've just got to feel for Cox. This must be very wearing on him, because at the moment he's up against Hill. You can guarantee that Allen will come on and support Hill. Probably the halfway mark of this quarter.
Oh, James Hird. That was brilliant. Just couldn't quite nail the goal.
And Bluey McKenna and Gavin Brown. Pretty disappointed, James, but he looked dangerous at all of those ruck contests. He just got away from the contest, then he started to move towards it, just had a bit of run up as the ball hit the ruckman's hands. Makes it very tough for Embley to cover him in that situation. Let's see the let's go for a big torpedo to Cox.
He's gone the drop punt instead. Guess who? But his kick smothered. Judd's got it.
And this is a good move. My word, he's confident and he's skillful. That was beautifully done. McDougall, Braun, good centre. Good bounce from McPhee. Bolton, Ramanauskas. Don's defending grimly. 2-on-1 for the Eagles. Lucas pushing, shoving and fighting on. Judd's got it again though.
Free kick, Lucas. And he did well, the big fella, against 3 midfielders.
What was it for?
In the back.
Now Peveril and the Bombers turn defence into hopeful attack. Lloyd, was he into his back? He was.
You can't argue with that.
Look, clean cut from here.
Leapt early into his opponent's back.
Oh, it's a dodgy kick. Just comes off. And it's marked by the first gamer in Waters, who finds Fletcher. 19-13 to the free kicks in favour of West Coast tonight. Morrison's away. He's got plenty of room to work with. He pumps it long. Here's a chance for the Eagles to extend their lead. Not so. Fisted away by the Essendon defence. Falls fortuitously to Lucas. He finds his skipper in Hird. He'll pop it over the top to Peveril. Here come the Bombers. Peveril now winds up on the left into the pocket. Looking for Lloyd. Got both hands on the footy. Bowled over. Essendon crowd go wild. No free kick. Is that deliberate?
He's given it deliberate.
It is.
He doesn't miss a trick, umpire Goldsmith.
40 metres forward, that kick travel.
It did.
Hird, that's a brilliant kick. Solomon couldn't quite pick up the mark.
Oh, big trouble for the Eagles. Cox is off with an injured leg. Huge trouble now.
Christy Malthouse.
Cox looks like to be in all sorts of trouble down here. Not sure exactly what it is, but he looks pretty stuffed anyway.
Brilliant delivery, Judd, to Cousins. The Eagles on the burst again. Chick. Still Chick. Now Sampi, who's been dangerous around goal all night. This time he misses.
Poor G, didn't he sell the dummy well there to Dustin Fletcher? Looked as if he would handball off. Kept control of the footy and missed, but Cox off is a real problem.
Can you give us a description of his condition again, Christy?
He's a little exhausted.
The Bombers are away. McCurry. He's got 3 goals next to his name. He goes for a trot. Into the pocket to Lloyd. There's Big Lynch. He might have to do the ruck work now.
Well, McDougall's doing the ruck work, number 2, but that means that they're a tall forward short. Jakovic will have to do the forward work.
Now, Bombers might have been stiff there. That ball bobbled off the hand on the tackle, so it became an illegal hand pass.
Correct.
Hill got the tap. And it's a bounce. 35 out from the Bombers' goal. They trail the Eagles by 5 points. Round 3 of 2004. The Bombers last on the ladder, yet to win. West Coast 1-1.
14 goals kicked in the third quarter, just 1 in 7 minutes in the last.
I reckon you can guarantee this will hit an Essendon player.
James Hird lifting heroically, and David Hill from 45 metres, the chance to prize back the lead.
Well, that kick that Hird marked was kicked by the West Coast Eagles ruckman McDougall. And Hill, who is a genius at finding space for a ruckman, you can see there, just gets in space, and McDougall a fraction of a second late to cover him. And that's the value of James Hird. 90% of the time when he gets the football, you can guarantee it will be to the advantage of his team. Contested marks, very, very few in the game overall, and certainly to West Coast.
Hill for the lead. And the Bombers are back in front. His kicking didn't let him down that time. Full of authority.
Best game David Hill has played this season. And that's the worry. It looks like a groin strain or a hamstring strain to Cox. And that reduces the Eagles' chances, no doubt.
James Hird gets the clearance to half forward for Essendon. Well done by Lynch. Jones attacks it. Judd. Diving on top of it dangerously as Waters.
The Eagles have had 2 very tough games before this, Rob. They clawed back to win against the Bulldogs. Just went down last week. Is that good or bad in this situation?
I think it'd be pretty telling on them, Tim. At the same time, Essendon have faded in their 2 round 1 and round 2 games.
Lloyd, great hands, love it. Murray has kicked a great goal. The value of Matthew Lloyd, slick hands, and a great snap from Lovett Murray for his first goal in league football.
And not only has Matthew Lloyd kicked 7 goals, he set one up for Ricky Dyson in the first quarter, and he just set that one up for Lovett Murray in the final. You could just about say he's contributed 10 goals to the Bombers tonight.
And remember that his hand pass attempts last week were derided by a few people, a couple of them sitting in this commentary position. One of them speaking to you at the moment. Dons by 7 points. Hird playing a magnificent last quarter. Richards on his knees, as were the Bombers a little while ago. To Bullen, to Hill. And Dyson, the first game, a high ball for Rioli. Hird arrives to be dangerous at ground level. Terrific tackle by Lynch. Hird kept his composure. Braun. And the Eagles work it to Judd. Peveril bringing him down. Tremendous contest now. It has been a wonderful battle.
James Hird, 8 disposals in the first 11 minutes of this quarter. Now, Quinton Lynch is a big man. He just throws Hird aside.
Bombers by 7. Hird again, leading from the front. Lovett Murray swoops on it. Can't work a miracle there. The Eagles have numbers back. Waters. Waters kick to a 1-on-1. Loose as Welsh can pounce. Not quite for Andrew Welsh. It's an 8-point advantage to Essendon, 113 to 105. Eagles led by 5 in this last quarter. And West Coast without both their ruckmen. Gardner off injured, Cox off injured.
Middle stages of the quarter. Morrison with a good target out on the wing. This is Embley, who's had the job on Hurd. That's a lovely probing kick, but Matera is hopelessly out-heighted by his opponent Fletcher. Here's Kerr, now Sampi. Eagles still pressing. Chad Fletcher. Free kick against Matera.
Yeah, not much Matera could do, but give a contest like that. But definite free to Henneman.
Fletcher in the back pocket. Looks for Hurd. Dangerous kick around the corner. No mark to Judd. Cousins. Back to Lynch, who pumps it long. Bombers have the numbers back. Embley. Matera, left foot snap. Goal! He is a dead-eye dick around goals. 3 goals straight to Phil Matera tonight. He's hardly had an opportunity.
Well, the Quinton Lynch kick was long to the goal square, put pressure on the Bomber defence. They got a fist on it. This little fellow read the crumb, went to his left side, able to put it through. He is a brilliant little footballer, all-Australian forward pocket player.
5 kicks, 3 goals tonight to Phil Matera.
It's been an incredible night, and it's not over. The Dons by 2 points. 9 minutes left. Hill beating McDougall clearly, giving Essendon first running. Bullen, good result there, keeps coming. Lovely little hip and shoulder on Lovett Murray by Lynch to Judd, now to McDougall. The Eagles on the build. Matera, the only hope. And he was like a boy among men.
Give it time.
Bolton's ball. Fletcher goes to what might be a contest as Chad Fletcher arrives, but Mercury in his 200th game kept his eye on the ball.
To Ramanascus. Straight down the middle, that's the way to go to Lloyd. No mark, Waters. Eagles clear. It was Jones to Weirpool. No! Judd almost got, in fact it was Embley, almost got poleaxed. More importantly for Essendon, McPhee won the football. Kick smothered by Braun. Oh. Carroll lost his footing at the crucial moment. Lloyd over the top of him. Throw in. Gee, I felt... I thought Embley was going to be absolutely annihilated.
Courage by Embley, and McPhee very kind.
Very kind.
The first Fremantle docket will let a West Coast Eagle off the hook.
New opponent on James Hurd. Jones has got the job. He's that hot. He said, I'm going to full forward. Everybody else get out, because if it comes my way, I'll get it.
Nice work, Hill. Rioli swooping. How will that curl? It might curl out. Well done, Jones.
Well, maybe I'll get it.
And the Eagles look to build an attack off the last line. Cousins. Jones again. Bo Waters. Sounds like a Neo health resort. Now Lynch. Through the middle goes the big young man. That is a thumping, pumping kick. Push and shove. Eagles dangerous here. Chick. McDougall has put them back in front. His third.
And Daniel Chick gave a strong contest in the mark. He didn't take it. Well, here we go back to the Jones mark, a one-handed mark. And Daniel Chick, strong, keeps the front position, wins the footy, handballs it to the ruckman, who is now McDougall, and McDougall, being a full forward, knows what to do when he picks that ball up.
Well, surely they're not going to get much better in 2004 than this one. It's only round 3. How do you match this? Eagles back in front by 4 points.
Took it out of the ruck. Dropped it on the ground. Took it out of the ruck.
Yeah, umpires, if you catch the ball, as the ruckman did, Hill, and then get tackled, you are in big trouble.
McDougall kicks in the direction of Jakovic. Can he get a kind bounce? Great tackle, Peverill. Adkins runs out of territory. But it's inside the Eagles attacking 50.
Shit.
They lead by 4 points. There's Big Cox, Rob.
Yes.
Might be all right. Just go down to Christy M.
Oh, it looks like Cox isn't so stuffed after all. He looks like he's just about ready to come back on.
They need to get Chris Judd on. He's had a spell. He's raring to go. They need him on as quick as they can get him there.
Jakovic, good little kick. Danger here for Essendon. Oh, well done, McPhee. And the Eagles lead by 5 points. Fletcher going long, and it's a good option too. Murphy.
Beautiful kick. Got Rioli running wide to the flank. He's gone for him.
So Hurd's at full forward, isolated with Jones. Carroll's got the big job on Lloyd, who's got 7 goals next to his name.
Well, it's just giving Eagles players time to get numbers back.
Rioli to Hurd. Couldn't hang on to it. Jones to Weirpunda. McDougall goes long. Jakovic. Big body, big mark. Play on. He bangs it long. Matera. Fletcher. Oh, touched it on the line.
Super effort by the fullback. And Chris Judd still can't get on the ground.
Kevin Sheedy will take him.
Well, they're a clear kick in front. They haven't led by 2 kicks yet.
5.5 minutes to go.
Masiti to a contest. Waters and Solomon. Jakovic doing great things. Young Waters dispossessed, and the Bombers have numbers now. Dyson to Welsh. Now Ramanauskas and now McPhee, who's been splendid, and he can set something up here. He goes for Hurd, and he's got it. There has been a steely look in James Hurd's eyes tonight that tell you that he's not going to go away with anything less than a win. And right now, after his 29th possession, he's lining up to square it with 5 minutes to go.
And whilst that happens, the Eagles are able to get Chris Judd back onto the field.
They've led by 8 goals. Right now, they're level. It all starts again. Inspector Gadget on the job.
Well, he stretched those arms and he stretched those legs several times tonight to the advantage of his team. Matthew Allen on, David Hill off. So fresh legs for the Essendon ruckman.
Less than 5 minutes remaining in the game. Scores level. Judd. Solomon. Cousins. Handball was astray. Socket off the ground by Morrison. Only as far as Rioli. Changed his mind at the last minute. Might prove costly, but gets it back again. Rioli drills it inside 50. Murphy. 51 metres out. Very tight angle. At the moment, you'd think any score will do.
He is a long kick, Justin Murphy. And James Hurd probably telling him to back himself and have a shot.
So Murphy from just outside 50. Not much of a run-up. Plenty of power in the kick. That could be a match winner.
He's been rejected by 3 clubs. That moment might be the vindication of Kevin Sheedy's recruitment of Justin Murphy.
He was always going to be a very handy player for them this year, Tim. His record shows that his first year at a club, he performs well. It's after that that you worry.
Peter Simic can see the humour in it. Essendon a goal in front.
Cox back in the ruck.
A holding kick to the Eagles. Chad Fletcher. They press again. Jakovic's been excellent up forward. And he might do some damage. Oh, he has! It's level again. This is an unbelievable match.
And what a super bit of play by the veteran. A long kick by Judd. He blocks his opponent. You see this. He hasn't got the pace to beat him in a run for the ball. He puts the block on Hedeman, cuts back onto his left boot. That ball could have been smothered. It wasn't. And he's able to put it through. His kicking for goal has been very ordinary tonight. On his left foot on the run. Probably his hardest shot for the night. He puts it through. This is the most important centre bounce for the night.
Does not get any better than this. Cox against Allen. Hurd back in the centre. Soccer off the ground. Eagles going to attack. Half forward flank. Welsh gets there first. And Braun sees him safely over the line.
The corners have run 31-13, 30-01 and 36-26. But of course a lot of goals in the third term.
Kerr, tackled by Hurd, who has been simply outstanding tonight. It's been a hot week for him. He has responded in typical James Hurd fashion tonight. 31 disposals, 2 goals. It'll mean naught if the Bombers get beaten. There they go again.
He's a freak, James Hurd. In the middle of 30 players, he got that ball out.
Solomon, one out with Lloyd. Is Carroll. Lloyd's got it. Directly in front, 45 out. He'll be lining up for goal number 8.
Cox off, McDougall on.
Well, James Hurd, he's played his guts out, Robert.
Well, in heavy traffic, he's the one who wins the clearance there. And that was his 32nd disposal. 13 in the final quarter. And the captain has risen to the challenge. I think both captains, Cousins and Hurd, have been marvellous tonight.
Matthew Lloyd turns 26 in the coming week. He was imagining last week that he'd be spending his birthday on the sidelines. He now has the chance to win it for Essendon.
He's kicked 7 goals straight. You'd back him in from here. Lloyd has 8. Essendon lead by 1 straight kick.
And some very nervous Essendon supporter faces there. He has kicked superbly all night, straight as a die.
I don't think Essendon under Sheedy have lost from this far in front. 8 goals up they were in the first quarter. And they might yet cling to victory here.
Tonight, Tim, from set shots for goal, the Bombers have kicked 16-1. And McDougall in to do the ruck work.
Allen beats him to Rioli. All hands on deck for the Dons. Hunter in the way. And the most casual man out there, Robert Walls, stands his ground and marks. The Eagles have got to prize it back now. Carroll, no one inside Essendon's 50. Good delivery from the defender. And Cousins, an absolute hero for West Coast. Forward of the wing. Time enough, you would think, at the 29-minute mark for the Eagles to pull it back yet. A draw would be a just result. It's a hackneyed cliche. Neither team deserves to lose. All the Bombers are back. Hunter goes forward to Green.
Essendon got a massive flood on. Essendon have got 16 of their players in the defensive 50.
Can someone pluck it? Judd tries to. At the back, or it slipped through Matera's fingers. Sammy, open goal, out comes. It's level again. No. Yes.
Oh, I can't believe this game.
Oh, I wish I knew what the time was. They did that pretty well, the Eagles. They took it from one back flank to centre-half back to the other back flank, and they were then, with the long kick in, massive players, bit of luck involved. It comes out to Damien Atkins. He slams it through. And I don't think there's much time left, Tim.
We'll give you a hint. Our producers tell me there is long enough for either side to win.
Thanks.
1:31 apiece. Here comes Hurd again. Can he be the hero? Or can Lloyd be the hero? He gets to the front, no mark. Eagles have numbers around the football. Jones on hands and knees. Lloyd taps it out. Judd at the bottom of the pack. It's a bounce.
James Hurd got that ball out at the centre bounce. He's moving down towards this contest. If anybody's going to get it, it'll be James.
McDougall heads for the boundary line. Maybe Murphy should have kicked. Bullen. Hurd! Hurd! The fairy tale's complete. After a horror week, James Hurd, you are a genius.
I don't think I've ever seen a player just control a quarter of football like this. I think he's had 15 disposals.
He has 15 disposals.
He's had 15 disposals, kicks a freakish goal, has won the important clearances. He's had 6 clearances in this final quarter.
And he's given an Essendon supporter a moment he will never forget.
Incredible.
The Dons by a goal. There must only be seconds left. Cleverly chipped to Cousins, to Morrison. Could the Eagles yet pull it out? Sampi couldn't quite mark it. Sampi's got it again. Fletcher, stolen though by the other Fletcher. And Essendon breathe. And they're home! Essendon are home in an amazing contest at the Telstra Dome. James Hurd's week is complete.